Hello and welcome back to class. It's week 1 assignment time, and I'm going to be spending the next few minutes walking through the week 1 assignment. So, if you've started reading, that's good. But before you write anything, be sure and pay attention to what I'll be talking about in this video. So, just like we always start out, we go and look at the home page and check our announcements. And then we're going to be going to the week 1 assignment. So week 1 is primarily reading. You should have your textbooks and be working with those. And the second part of the assignment is to do a discussion post. And that discussion post involves the normal week 1 autobiographical introduction to the rest of the class. But it also asks you to describe your current thinking about transformational leadership. And what I would prefer that you do for this post is to focus most of your attention and most of your writing on the leadership theories and concepts and applications that you're already familiar with, and try to explain to me and the rest of the class how, from what you know now, you see this developing into a fuller, deeper understanding of the subject as we progress through the next 8 weeks. So, a little bit about yourself, a lot about what you think about transformational leadership. Now, the initial discussion post procedure we're going to be using may be slightly different than you've used in the past. As you know, I receive a report, or I can pull down a report from SafeAssign to see that all the assignments, all the discussion posts have been properly submitted. As you know, you are required to use SafeAssign for your initial discussion post. So the procedure is to compose your discussion post in Word, submit it as a draft, run the report after SafeAssign has searched through the internet looking for matching. Look at your matching percentage. If the percentage is over 20%, you should look at the report and then make revisions to your document if necessary. Then you resubmit to SafeAssign Final. Again, you can check your matching percentages and run the report and revise. And then finally, you're going to be copying and pasting the final version into the discussion post. If this sounds a little confusing, I've posted a video in the Start Here section of the class called SafeAssign, which introduces you to the whole idea of what SafeAssign is all about, what it's trying to do, what the numbers mean, what the report means, and how to make adjustments to it. So let's see how you'll be posting once you've finished your document and are happy with the SafeAssign results. You're going to be clicking on Week 1 Discussions. You've got to click on. You'll get this screen. Then you're going to be clicking again on Week 1 Autobiography. Then you're going to be taken to SafeAssign, assuming this is all complete. You've already submitted both your original and your draft. And then you're going to go to the discussion for your final post. That'll take you to this page. Here you're going to click on the Create Thread. Everybody will have their own thread. That'll take you to this page. Then you need to fill in a subject and then copy and paste your Word document here. And finally, submit. So your post should answer all the topics that I've supplied. You should use at least 2 references. You'll notice when I send back your first graded assignment, you'll see that in the rubric it requires you to use 2 references, and one has to be from a scholarly journal, but there's no penalties for using more references. You should list your references at the end in a standard APA format listing. You should write in a scholarly fashion, as if you were writing a paper. It is like a paper, it's just shorter. Now your response post, when you're responding to somebody else or to me, you can stay more informal, more conversational. But remember to stay on topic. This is not a chat room. This is discussing particular topics that are important to the class. Make sure you cover the requirements, and I think for these assignments, the way that I'll be specifying them, you should plan on writing at least 800 words at a minimum. Okay, so they're not trivial assignments. These are supposed to be important contributions to the class. After all, for week 1 and week 2, you have no other assignments except to do your discussion posts and read. So these are supposed to be substantial efforts. This may be different than you've been doing recently, but as I said in my introductory chat, or in my introductory presentation, I do things a little differently than some of your other professors, and you should now start getting an idea of my expectations. I pulled out of my last class one of the good examples of a discussion post. As you can see, it's written in a standard paper type fashion. It's not conversational. It has references. As you can see, it's got a couple on this page, and there were 3 or 4 more on a page that I decided not to show you. This is a kind of typical length that's going to be necessary for doing the sort of substantial work that I expect you to be doing for these discussions. So you can pull this out and make it a little larger if you wanted to read it, but overall it was a good solid post. This was not the way the students were posting at the beginning of class, but by the end of the class most of the students were doing good work and writing good substantial posts for their initial posts. So the keys to success. Pay attention to the suggestions and advice that I'm providing both in the presentations as well as on the rubrics and the papers that are returned to you. Initial posts are formal expressions of your reaction to the assigned topics. You have to look at them as a presentation of your ideas about the subject matter. So you want them to look academic, you want them to look official, you want them to show that you are knowledgeable about the subject. Make sure you cover the requirements. Make sure your initial post is organized in a paper type fashion. Grammar, spelling, punctuation all count. Make sure that your initial post is formal in that it could be the basis of a paper. Follow-up posts are not so formal. They can be more conversational, but still try to avoid slang, colloquialisms, things that convert the discussion into a chat room. I'm not looking for that. Your response post should look critically at the content of the ideas presented and should attempt to further the discussion. And finally, week 3 will require a 20 to 30 page paper. You should look ahead to see the requirements on that so that as you're starting to work on your discussion posts and your research this week, you'll actually be contributing to what's going to be needed for that paper in week number 3. So, I hope this is useful in preparing for your week 1 assignment. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. You can email me, you can ask questions in the classroom, you can phone or text me. And I look forward to your initial post this week. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.